Hi everyone, as you know, we run our famous football forum events, objective testing and pro player pathway events all around the planet. We love meeting with our players, we love meeting with the parents, we love supporting them and educating them. But one of the things in Australia that has really upset me at the moment, and we've got to set this one straight, and this is for all the mums and dads and players out there. We're running our free event at the weekend in Brisbane just gone. We had a parent come up to us and said, unfortunately, they had to leave our testing day, which is a free event for boys and girls aged 8 to 23 years of age. So I apologise to the parents. I'm really sorry that you've got to leave. I hope everything's really well. And should know, unfortunately, they've received an email from their club, who is an NPL club. And I'm not going to name them to embarrass them, but this needs to stop. You do not hold players to contracts when players are under the age of 16 and they're paying a service fee to be part of the NPL. We need to make this clear. This parent told me, her son was 15, that she's been told by her club he's under contract and he's not allowed to participate in any other football outside of the club. Okay? I want to set this one straight. If you're paying fees for your son or daughter, they are not on a contract. It's called a fee for service agreement. You're paying a fee for a service for your son or daughter to be developed as a player. They are not on any sort of professional contract. Let's make that one clear. How do I know this? Not only am I one of the highest UEFA qualified coaches on the planet, but I'm also a UEFA player agent. Also, players can sign pro contracts from the ages of 16 and upwards, depending on which country you're living in and if you're a national of that country. If you're an international player, it might be 18 years of age until you can sign an official professional contract. Now, you might say, well, my son or daughter's not on any fees for the club, they're on a full scholarship. Again, unless your son and daughter have signed a professional contract, which means they're being paid for their time as an employee, they are not under any contract or terms that can stop them. This is one of the reasons why we've got so much politics and why football is not moving forward in Australia. I've been in Australia for 18 years on and off, and I've seen football decline since I first arrived. When I first arrived in Australia, football was at its pinnacle. We had in excess of 10 players from Australia in the Premier League. The women's game was going great, the men's game was going great, and everything was going in the right direction. Unfortunately, stuff happens in football in Australia. It's very political, the whole reason why football's gone, and I will happily talk about this on another episode of one of my shows, but that's not a time for now. But I just want to make it clear, if you're a mum and dad, if you're paying fees for your son and daughter, or you're a player and you pay for your own fees to play NPL football or whatever level, you are not on a professional contract. If you wish to go and attend another training session, especially a session that's completely free of charge and is not going to affect anything other than you maybe learning something new and helping you to develop, then that is okay to do. We are at Euro Football Start one of the biggest advocates of players playing at clubs, playing at other private academies, and if you watch any of our posts and you watch any of our podcast episodes, I always talk about all the other academies out there, not just in Brisbane, but right around Australia. And I'm a big advocate of players being at a club, being at multiple private academies, working with private coaches one-on-one, and hopefully they get to work with us. And if you don't, that is okay. Good luck with your football. But guys, we need to stop listening to clubs who are forcing you into corners saying your son or daughter's under a contract. Unless they've signed a professional contract under the laws of FIFA and they are 16 years of age or older, you are not on a contract with that club. If you get any of this nonsense, what I would advise is you need to push it to the FFA and send the email to whoever sent it from your club and ask the FFA the question, is this correct, and is my son or daughter on a contract? And then the FFA can knock on the door of the club and remind them that they can't be saying such lies to families and to players. So to make it clear, again, if you're not on a professional contract and you're not being paid a salary, you are free to move around. If you want to go and do additional training Obviously, one of the things we don't encourage is doing too much. You don't want to overload players, especially players under the age of 16. But when you're getting an opportunity to be in front of another private academy or another highly qualified coach or a player agent, whoever it may be, grab those opportunities, guys. I'm a big fan of players being in front of as many coaches as possible and of many opinions, on the basis that the person who's given the opinion has got many years in the game, holds the highest qualifications, and has actually been there and done it, and has produced top talents around the world. They're the people you should be listening to. Again, if anyone needs any help with anything around this area, DM me, drop a comment below. I would love any of your questions or queries. We'll make an episode of it. We'll talk about it on here, and I'll answer the question for you. And if we don't have the answer, we will most certainly get back to you. But just to finish off, this is one of my pet gripes. Can clubs and schools and private academies all start working together? Because at the end of the day, who's it all about? It should be all about the players and the youngsters in the game. And let's make it a fun journey for them, but also let's make it an educational journey. And also let's support the mums and dads who are putting their hard-earned money into the clubs, into the private academies, into the schools to support their son or daughter's dream. So how about Australia? Why don't we start working together and stop working against each other and stop living in fear of that particular private academy or that particular coach or that particular school program? And why don't we always just ask this one question? If it's in the benefit of the player, then yes, we should do it. If it's not in the benefit of the player, then no, we shouldn't do it. So let's be more player focused rather than our own individual egos getting in the way. That's me, over and out.